So I've been playing some more Shovel Knight, and I've been playing it on this Nintendo Switch because I thought, hey, this is like an NES game, so I should get it on the Nintendo Switch. And I'm on the third map, I guess you could call it. I just play a little bit every now and then, and it's kind of hard. It's also kind of easy. Like if you were if you're expecting something as hard as NES games, um, that's not Shovel Knight. It's difficult, but there are checkpoints everywhere, and one of the best parts is, unlike most NES games, you don't have lives. You just go back to the previous checkpoint, and you can leave the level you're in at any time. So you just try over and over again. You don't have to worry about losing all your lives and continues and being forced to start the whole game over. You just keep going. They always put a checkpoint right before the boss, and when you die, you drop some of your money and you can pick it up again. So on the bosses, essentially, I guess they make the money drop because you always drop your money when you die. But there, you can always just very easily get your money back by just jumping into it before the boss even does anything. Interestingly, I found many of the bosses to be really easy. I think it's because Shovel Knight has that downward shovel attack, and it's really easy to hit enemies with that, especially the bosses. Because even when I'm going up or down, as long as part of the shovel hits the boss, even if part of Shovel Knight hits the boss, the shovel automatically takes priority and you hit him. And and the only bosses I've died on is actually the very first boss, which is supposed to be the easiest boss. I only died on him once, and the airship boss. I haven't played through many of the remaining levels yet. On the third map, and it looks like there's a fourth map too. Probably where the final boss is. And so on the airship boss, I died because the reason I usually die is that during it, instant kill pits, bottomless pits appear from a ship off in the distance firing cannonballs. In fact, that seems to be what kills me the most, is falling into a bottomless pit, or getting hit by an enemy and knocked into a bottomless pit. And so that's a lot like NES games, like Ninja Gaiden. You got a huge health bar, but it doesn't really matter because you're going into a pit. There aren't a whole lot of bottomless pits. The airship is pretty much all bottomless pit. Like there's some stable ground, but a lot of the areas in that map, there's a bottomless pit you have to go across. And online, people seem to say that's one of the harder ones. I do like that on that map you have to bounce across things using your shovel, so that's pretty neat. Let's see, what else do I like about the game? The music's pretty awesome. A lot of times in these games, there's only one or two music tracks that I really like, and this one, there's tons of them. There's the main theme. There is High Above the Land, which is part of the airship level, and then there's a faster version of High Above the Land when you're fighting the boss. So the music's pretty neat. The controls are very spot on. I tried the Plague Knight stuff. That's completely when you play the Plague Knight. There's also there's another knight. I can't remember the name, but those two other knights, all the different knights are essentially extra game modes. Like the Plague Knight seems to have mostly the same levels as the Shovel Knight, except slightly different. I found this Plague Knight to be difficult to control. He has a very inconvenient double jump. And the way it works is you do have a normal double jump, but it doesn't go very high. But to do the very inconvenient double jump, you have to charge up your attack, jump into the air, And well, you don't have to jump into the air. You can jump up. You can use that charged attack, jump high up in the air off the ground, or jump up in the air. But either way, you're holding down the button, waiting for your guy to blink, and then you can let go of it and jump a whole lot higher. And I just find, and you can do other things with it. Like apparently you can charge it up while in the air to go higher, so you can have multiple jumps or something like that. And you can throw your attacks, which makes your Plague Knight hover a little bit. He drops a little bit at a time. I just find that they call it, it's a boost jump, but you have to. It's not something that you use every now and then. It's like every time. It's the very first thing you even have to use to get over the first little hill, and it's just really inconvenient to do that. It's like, just give me a regular double jump and then keep everything else there. The other knight, he can climb up walls for about 2 feet, and then he jumps off. I didn't play him very much though, so we'll just see how that goes. All in all, I do like Shovel Knight though. What else do I like about Shovel Knight? You collect money, which you use to buy stuff. Use it to increase your health and your magic. A little while later, you can buy armor and weapon upgrades. The armor and weapon upgrades don't really do a whole lot for you. Some of them are helpful. Most of them just change the way you play the game. Like there's a weapon. One of the useful ones is if you are at full health and you attack, you'll send a little shock wave across the floor like that and hit enemies with it. But then there's also one where you can just dig up. You have little piles of rubble or something, and you don't normally have to dig it up a couple of times to get all the money out of it. But then there's a skill where you can just hit the thing and all the money pops out instantly. I bought it because it was there, and I really don't understand the purpose of it, but it's there. Most of the armor just seems to be not helpful and would seem to be very useless. The only one I saw that didn't have a massive drawback is the one where if you do the shovel jump like this twice on an enemy, your guy blinks and then you can do a super hit with your shovel. There's other ones one that gives you more magic, but reduces your health or your damage, either your health or your defense. I didn't buy it. There's one that does absolutely nothing, and it says so in the description. Of course, it's the most expensive one. There's one where you don't get knocked back and you get hit, but you slide around, and sliding around is always the best thing in any video game. It's like having an ice level on every level. And there is an ice level in Shovel Knight. It's not as bad as it sounds, because he does slip and slide, but not as badly as you might think. He just slides a little bit, so it's not too bad. I can't remember what the other armors do, but they're all useless, I find. But like I said, I like it. It's pretty nice. I guess just like NES games, if you're really good at it, you can fly through it really fast. Because the levels are sort of, I guess I would say medium length. Like if you were able to fly through them without stopping, just go through them, it'd probably take maybe 10 minutes on some of them. I know some of them are really long, some of them are kind of short. So I say they're medium level. And they have all the classic. It has all the classic stuff, like plenty of auto scroller areas. What's weird is that on two of them, you're like riding on this bug thing, and that's kind of like the auto scroller. Because if you miss if the bug goes away, you have no choice but to jump into the lava below you and die. There is an actual auto-scrolling area where a giant fish is chasing you that ends in a mini boss fight against them. Now on one of the other levels, I believe it was the airship level, or maybe it was the castle level. There's a level next to the airship. I can't remember what it's called. The screen just starts auto-scrolling for no reason, and there's no warning. And of course, if you go off the screen, you die. I would have liked to see something there for a reason to say, oh, well, there's a giant buzzsaws down there. If you fall, you die. So it's just weird that in other ones they had reasons for the auto-scrollers, but in this ones they didn't. Which I guess is a lot like NES games. Just sometimes for no reason the level auto-scrolls. I did have my old man, my grandpa, my dad, try to play it. I think he should play test games because he managed to bypass every single point where you're supposed to learn how to play the game. So there's one where you're supposed to figure out how to use your down attack, and you do it by jumping up and hitting a bubble, which bounces you up to a higher ledge you cannot reach just by jumping. Well, it turns out if you hit that bubble and get damaged, apparently it'll knock you back just like anything else. But it knocks you back in such a way that you can get up to the ledge. And so that's exactly what he did. He just jumped up into it and went right up into the ledge. And then I had to show him how to do the down attack because he completely bypassed the thing that's supposed to show you how to do it. And then right after that is where he got stuck because there's rocks in the way that you have to use the down attack on, and that's where I showed him how to use it. And because he didn't know how to do it, he had no clue what to do. I think he should play test games because he seems to have that ability to just completely bypass that. Like in Portal, he somehow managed to walk through the portals in such a way that he could not tell what the colors of the portals were. Like he would go in through a portal backwards so he couldn't see the color, and as he was going through the portal he would turn, so when he comes out the other side he could not see the portal that he just came out of, so he could never figure out that the orange portal goes to the blue portal and the blue portal goes to the orange portal. So if anybody's looking for a game tester, my old man, my grandpa, my dad would be very helpful. Because he somehow manages to bypass everything in the game, any teaching things in the game, he'll just skip it by magic. I don't know how he manages to do it every time, but he does it, and that's why Shovel Knight's awesome.